Hey patrons, welcome back to the next part of this tutorial series, and in this part we're going to be drawing the mouth of this portrait. So far we've done the eyes and the nose in the last part, and so her lips have got a nice pink tinge to them. We did pick the colours already for the lips, and the main colour we're going to be using is the Anthraquinone pink to get that nice pinky tinge to the lips. And so you've got to be careful when you're drawing lips that you don't get them too artificial, too bright and vibrant. So as well as that pink, we're adding lots of other colours like the burnt siennas in order to just tone it down so it's not so bright. But the first thing that I'm going to go in with is sepia, just to do the darkest areas like always. And the darkest area of the lips is the middle line, the centre line between the two lips. And so I'm very, very closely paying attention to the way the centre line of the lips curves, because this is really important for the expression of the lips. I lightened up the sketch as well already. I'm applying a bit more pressure to the areas where it's really dark. And I'm just slowly going to thicken up the line. The line's not even all of the way across. Some areas where it's slightly thicker and there's more shadow, and other areas where it's not as thick. Now that I've done that, I'm going to just go and shade in the top and bottom lip with the Anthraquinone pink. Just all the way along it. Shade in the whole area. On the top and the bottom. And you can see that this pink at the moment looks very fake, very bright, so we can't leave it like that. That's why I'm not applying lots of pressure. So I'm going to start to layer some of the burnt ochre on this side of the lips. It's got that orangey tinge to it. So any area that's got an orangey tinge, I'm just layering the burnt ochre. Going to add a bit of the russet as well. For those areas that have got a bit more of a reddy, saturated tinge to them. And so now is where we're going to start to tone it down. So I'm going in with the burnt sienna 50% for the shadows. Just blocking all of those in. Still not applying much pressure at all with this. Also going over the sepia to make it more natural. I'm blending over the other areas with the burnt sienna 10%. You can see how it just tones down the whole of that upper lip. We can go back in with the Anthraquinoid Pink and glaze some more over it to bring back that pink tinge. Applying a bit more pressure in areas where it's a bit more saturated. Go back in with the burnt ochre. Also add in some of the burnt sienna. So again, for the bottom lips, I'm just going in and adding in the shadows. Just adding in some markings for the creases. Going over the whole area with the burnt sienna 10%. I just layered some of the burnt sienna and the burnt ochre. Going back in with the Anthraquinoid Pink. And the burnt sienna 10%. So now I want to start to add some of the skin around the lips so that we can better, get the shape for the lips nice and accurate. So I'm going to first go in with some of the brown ochre 50% and just shade that from the nose to the top of the lips on this side where it's more shadowed. Get a nice even layer. Same with the shadow under the bottom lip, just add in the same colour. Just bring it further down. Add this around the corner on the right hand side. corner of the mouth. There's the Cupid's bow as well that has a lot of little shadows to make it look 3D. So just building up more shadow. I'm going to shade in some of the brown ochre 10% as well. Adding some of this all the way around the mouth. Okay, so that's enough skin around the mouth. We don't need to do too much. Going in with the burnt sienna 10%. Going to add some of the burnt sienna 50%. Just add in some more shadow around the side of the nose with the burnt sienna 50% still. And I'm going to use this same colour for the shadow under the bottom lip. Add in some more of the brown ochre 50% on this side now. Just darken it up a little bit. And I'm going to add some of the raw umber because there is a bit of a green tinge to this shadow. So the raw umber is a great colour as an undertone for the skin here. I'm going to add some of the Sepia 50% as well, because this shadow is a bit more grey tinged. Grey brown. Also adding some of the raw umber 10% on this side. The lighter version of the one we used for the shadowed area. I'm just gonna burnish out the areas just that we need around the mouth, because this part is not focusing on the skin, it's just focusing on getting the mouth in. So I'm gonna go in with the brown ochre 10% and just start to burnish out this lighter side. Also adding the white because we have a highlighted area here. I'm looking at the shape of the highlight. Blend all of this out, all of these lighter areas. I'm not blending with the shadows out with the white though. Just all of that lighter side. Then I'm going in with more of the brown ochre, but I'm going in with just the brown ochre 50% at the moment. Also going to go in with the burnt ochre 10%. Adding the burnt ochre 50%. Wiping away all of the bits. Adding some of the burnt sienna 10%. And then some more of the burnt ochre 50%. Gonna add some of the white, lighten up and shape this highlight. I'm going to add some of the anthraquinoid pink. Blend that out with the white. I'm going to go over with the burnt ochre 10% over the lips and soften the lips into the skin around them. So I'm softening that edge. So I want it to be really natural. So now I'm going to add some more of the burnt sienna 50% to this side. We're going to blend it out with the burnt ochre 10%. Not too hard, not too much pressure. I'm not blending right to the edge because I want to leave that area unblended so that when we do the skin it's easy to connect the two areas together. Again, blending onto the lips. Using the white to blend into the lips, add the highlight. Also need to add the highlight on this side. I'm going to do that with the buff titanium. Gonna add the burnt ochre 10%. Press a bit harder on the burnt ochre 10% down here for this highlight. I'm going to glaze some of the Anthraquinone pink on the shadowed area. And then it needs to be a bit warmer, so I'm going to glaze some of the burnt ochre 50% to warm it up. Going to add some of the raw umber for the shadow just above this corner of the lip to get the expression right. I'm going to go in with the burnt ochre and blend over all of this. Add some of the burnt sienna. Adding some more of the burnt sienna 50%. Keep wiping away all of the bits. Once again, I'm blending over this whole area with the burnt ochre 10%. Glaze a bit of the burnt ochre. Glaze the burnt ochre 10% over this area of the shadows as well. Now I'm looking for the really subtle highlights within the shadowed area. And for them I'm using the raw umber 10% to get them in. Gonna add some of the raw umber. Okay, so now that we've got enough skin done around the mouth, that doesn't mean that we're finished with these areas yet. We can perfect them when we go on to the actual skin. But for now, what I want to do is work on the actual lips. So I'm going to take our Anthraquinoid Pink again and just start to, once again, go around the shape of the lips. I want to focus on the center line. Get in the right shape. Add in the burnt ochre to the corners of this side. Blend it out. I'm going to use the brown ochre 10% to blend that out. Going over the shadows with the Anthraquinoid Pink. Gonna add the sepia. Get in these darkest shadows again. Add in some of the russet over the top, adding a bit more saturation. Especially towards the more middle area. And I'm going to add the shadows now on the bottom lip. Wipe away all of the bits. I'm softening out the edge of the bottom lip. Wipe away all of the bits again. So now I just want to go and actually refine the mouth a bit more. Just want to add some more of the sepia. So now I'm going in with my white pencil and I'm just using it to add in all of the highlights. Firstly on the Cupid's bow, anything that needs to be brightened up with the skin, like the area directly around the top of the lips. That's highlighted. It's important to get these little highlights in to make the mouth look three-dimensional. I'm not making it like bright white, I'm just lightening up the colours. And I'm just going to use it to add some of the highlights on the bottom lip, because as you can see there's quite a few little highlights. I'm going to shade it all the way on the middle part of the bottom lip and then add some little lines and cracks that go in the direction, well, curve with the direction of the mouth, with the lips. So now I'm going over the top. I've just lightened up some areas. I'm going over that with the Anthraquinoid pink and on the bottom. I'm going to glaze over the burnt sienna 50% as well. And the russet. And I'm just going to use the raw umber 10%. Going to glaze some of the burnt sienna over the top. Going in with the Anthraquinoid pink. Now I'm wiping away all of the bits. Make some final little adjustments. Glaze some of the raw umber by the lips. Go over with the brown ochre 50%. And so I'm just going to go in with my X-Acto knife and just use this to add lots of the little details. So I'm going to glaze over it with the burnt sienna 50%. Just tone down these highlights. Some of them anyway, not all of them. I'm going to use the brown ochre 10% just to get in this highlight. Just going to add the white. White up here as well. Anyway guys, that is it for the mouth so far, and I'll see you guys in the next part where we'll be working on the skin.